In a compelling podcast episode, host and guest Michael Malice engage in a deep dive into the concept of McCarthyism and its lasting impact on American society. Malice sets the stage by painting a vivid picture of the Cold War era, a time when the fear of communism was at its zenith, and the U.S. government was actively seeking out individuals with communist affiliations. He recounts the congressional investigations that aimed to root out those with communist sympathies, often leading to the persecution of innocent people. The conversation underscores the distinction between harboring communist ideas and being an active member of a clandestine organization that takes orders from a foreign power to establish a totalitarian regime. As the dialogue progresses, Malice and the host shift their focus to the weaponization of identity politics. Malice articulates how identity politics has been manipulated to divide society along racial, gender, and social lines. He argues that this division is not a mere byproduct, but a deliberate strategy to maintain power and status. The emotional and manipulative nature of identity politics is highlighted, with Malice pointing out how language is often used to assert dominance and control over others, creating a polarized environment where unity becomes challenging to achieve. The concept of the marketplace of ideas is brought into the conversation, with Malice expressing concern over the difficulties of engaging in meaningful discourse in today's social and political climate. He introduces the notion of peak woke, suggesting that the fervor of woke culture may have reached its zenith and could now be in decline. Malice provides anecdotes of individuals who have been canceled or ostracized, but have managed to reclaim their platforms and influence, indicating a resilience against the cancel culture phenomenon. The podcast delves into the tangible effects of cancel culture on public figures, citing the example of Roseanne Barr, who faced significant backlash for her controversial remarks. Malice emphasizes the resilience of such individuals, noting that despite facing cancellation, figures like Barr and even former President Donald Trump have found ways to maintain their presence in the public eye. The role of social media platforms is discussed as an alternative avenue for these individuals to share their views and engage with their audience, circumventing traditional media gatekeepers. The conversation then turns to the broader implications of cancel culture and wokeness. Malice reflects on the case of Roseanne Barr, whose past contributions to leftist causes did not shield her from the swift consequences of her actions. He also touches on the power dynamics at play, with social media serving as a catalyst for cancel culture and the elite shaping public discourse. The guest explores the intersectionality of social movements and the potential backlash against the imposition of certain ideologies, questioning the long-term impact of wokeness on public discourse and society at large. The topic of election interference is broached, with Malice critiquing the hypocrisy often seen in political discourse. He points out the double standards that are applied when judging one's own group versus an outgroup, emphasizing the need for consistency in political rhetoric. The conversation also examines the role of social media in amplifying hate speech and the implications of such discourse on the political landscape. Malice stresses the importance of integrity and fairness in electoral processes, warning against the dangers of hypocrisy and double standards. In the concluding segment of the podcast, Malice shares his thoughts on democracy and the potential for the destruction of democratic institutions. He presents a case for anarchism as an alternative to traditional political systems, advocating for a reevaluation of the structures that govern society. Malice discusses the historical context of anarchism and its potential for success, highlighting the influence of dedicated minority groups in driving political change and challenging established power structures. The podcast episode offers a rich exploration of contemporary political and cultural issues, from the legacy of McCarthyism to the nuances of cancel culture and the state of democracy. Malice's insights provide a nuanced perspective on the challenges and opportunities facing modern society, inviting listeners to consider the potential for alternative forms of governance and the importance of maintaining a vibrant marketplace of ideas.